welcome to another episode of Atlanta Capital Cooking. Thanks for coming along with me today. Today we've got 2 recipes and 1 video. I'll be making macaroni and cheese and fried chicken with 11 herbs and spices. So it's kind of a take on KFC's original recipe. It's really good. I'll share it with you. And thanks for coming along. Let's get started. First step, I'm going to take a whole chicken and cut it into pieces for frying. In a large mixing bowl, I have 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour and 1/2 cup of cornstarch. For seasoning, we have 2 teaspoons of table salt, 1/2 teaspoons of dried thyme, 1/2 teaspoons of dried basil, 3 tablespoons of paprika, 1 teaspoon dried oregano, 1 tablespoon celery salt, 2 tablespoons garlic salt, 1 tablespoon black pepper, 1 tablespoon dried mustard powder, 3 tablespoons white pepper, 1 tablespoon ground ginger, and 1 tablespoon of MSG, which is optional. I left it out of my recipe. It's just a flavor enhancer, but it's something I could do without. So mix the ingredients thoroughly. Our breading is complete. Now we're going to coat our chicken pieces with yellow mustard. That's going to help the breading adhere to the chicken during frying. Give us a nice crispy coating. The mustard will not add any flavor to the chicken. Once it's cooked, you're not even going to be able to taste it. Here, we're just rubbing the mustard into the chicken pieces. We'll bread it and put it on a wire rack and let it sit once the breading is applied for 10 to 15 minutes. To start the macaroni and cheese, in a saucepan, I have 1/2 tablespoons of flour and 2 tablespoons of butter. We're basically making a light roux. We're just going to cook the flour long enough to take the rawness, the taste out of the flour. Once you start getting a nutty smell from the flour and butter, it's time to add the whole milk. Okay, now we'll add 1 cup of whole milk. I'm just adding the milk gradually to get all the lumps out. But that's usually one thing you don't have to worry about. Cold milk to a hot mixture, it's very hard to get lumps. For the seasoning, on the macaroni and cheese, I've got 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1 tablespoon of Cajun seasoning. I used a homemade Cajun seasoning in this case, but you can use your favorite. Now we add a 1/2 cup of 1/2 and 1/2 cream. Here I'm adding the cheese. You can add any cheese combination that you like. This time around I used 2 cups of mild cheddar, probably 1/4 cup of Swiss, and a half a cup of mozzarella. As you can see, when I raise the whisk, the sauce has a lot of cheese. During this process, I failed to mention, but I have the stovetop on medium-low temperature. At this point, we'll set our cheese sauce aside and cook our elbow macaroni. Add a 1-pound box of elbow macaroni to salted pasta water. Cook till just al dente. In a saute pan, I have a tablespoon of butter. Here I added a quarter of a cup of panko breadcrumbs, and I'll add another quarter cup of regular breadcrumbs, unseasoned. And just going to toast these nicely, and this will be our topping for our macaroni and cheese. Our pasta is drained. Now we'll add our cheese sauce to the drained noodles. Now we'll add our macaroni and cheese into an oven-safe dish. We'll put that into a 350-degree oven for about 30 minutes to let it thicken. Here I'm adding about 4 cups of oil to a wok. getting ready to fry the chicken. When the chicken has finished frying, I'll place it in the oven to keep it warm until ready to serve. The macaroni and cheese has cooked at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. Now I'll add the breadcrumb topping to the top of the macaroni and cheese. The macaroni and cheese is very hot right now, so once it cools for about 10 minutes, it will be ready to serve. Thanks for watching Atlanta Capital Cooking. Both recipes turned out really well, the macaroni and cheese and the fried chicken. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.